We love the Ford Focus in Britain because of this family favourite's ability to be all things to all men and women. Us Brits have bought just under 1.9 million of them since 1983. And this third generation Focus has just undergone the most extensive midlife update in its history.
The most obvious change is the new Aston Martin style nose, which is like that of the Fiesta. It certainly makes the Focus more distinctive than before. Meanwhile, round the back there are some revised tail lamps and a smooth looking tailgate.
Now inside you'll notice the difference too. The materials look and feel really nice quality. And there's been a little bit of money saving going on way down here in the footwells and down at the bottom of the doors, but hey, it's no different to any of its rivals in that respect. But overall I think this is a really lovely place to sit. I like the layout, the way it's all centred around this centre console. Now I do need to point out though that this is the range topping Titanium X. It comes with lots of extras and a hefty price tag, one to rival a Volkswagen Golf's. But one thing all models in the range, apart from the very basic entry-level get, is this.
A new 8-inch touchscreen that reduces the vast number of buttons cluttering up the dashboard of the previous version. It houses the car's entertainment and information systems, and it's pretty easy to use. Drivers can use a wide range of voice commands, like "I'm hungry" to bring up a list of restaurants nearby.
Okay, let's give it a go. Navigation.
Navigation.
Find restaurant.
Say a category.
Giving me choices. All cuisines.
Search where.
Nearby.
Please choose.
And you even get a list of choices. Which one to choose?
Another way that Ford has tried to make the Focus feel more upmarket is by improving the sound. And it's worked. There's slightly less road and wind noise than before, which is great news if you do lots of motorway miles.
Now Ford have revised the Focus's chassis to make it more comfortable, and they've tweaked the steering to make it more responsive. That's to ensure that the Focus stays top of the class when it comes to handling, and they've done an excellent job. I think particularly in terms of road holding, this feels like a far more expensive car, and the steering is wonderful. Not too light, not too heavy, it's just perfectly balanced. All of that added together means that this really is about as fun as it gets when it comes to family driving.
Now that responsive steering makes the Focus easy to park, and this Titanium X version comes with an amazing self-parking system.
Okay, let's put this to the test and see if it can find a parking bay for me and park itself in it. So you engage the sensors, searching for a perpendicular parking space, and it wants me to drive forward. Let's see if it can find one. Well, I can see loads. Come on. Come on, there's about half a dozen there. Ah, found one. Okay, stop the vehicle. Release the steering wheel, shift into reverse. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's doing it. Oh my goodness. Now it wants me to shift back into forward, which I'm done. I don't like this at all. And I have this overwhelming sense that if you can't do this yourself, you probably shouldn't have a driving licence. Drive backwards slowly. And it's using its cameras and sensors to line it up in the space. You can see it all happening here on the screen. Correcting itself. I do hope it's parking straight. It's not going to let me down. Drive backwards slowly, and it's finished.
Very clever stuff, but do you really need it on a car of this size?
In terms of engines, well, they all promise good economy, and of course they're fairly decent to drive. However, it's the new 1.5 litre diesel which is our best pick, especially if you're a commuter travelling long distances. It promises 74 miles to the gallon, while emissions of less than 100 grams per kilometre means that it's free to tax as well.
Safety credentials are also good. The Focus earned the maximum 5-star rating in the Euro NCAP crash safety tests, and every model has front, side and curtain airbags fitted, along with lane departure warnings and a driver tiredness monitor, all fitted as standard.
Okay, on now to the negatives, and one small niggle is this gearbox, which really isn't as smooth as some of its rivals. And if you're planning on doing a lot of motorway driving, then this engine in particular, the 1 litre EcoBoost, really does like to make itself heard. Also, if you work this engine hard, you'll find you won't get anywhere near the claimed 60 miles to the gallon.
Now, my advice would be to bear in mind the old mantra, less is more. Opt for one of the lower spec cars. The Focus simply doesn't need all the gizmos and gadgets you get on this top of the range version. Go for the mid-range Z-Tech spec. It offers all you need at a far more realistic price.
Here in the back you'll find a reasonable amount of space and decent headroom. There's 2 Isofix child seat points and some really well thought out storage compartments dotted around the place. What I really like are some of the luxury touches, things like the damp and grab handles and the handy light that's positioned there. However, I do feel that a third adult here in this middle seat would feel a little bit cramped, and whilst those narrower windows add to the dash of style that the Focus has now got, it does make it feel a little bit dark back here.
And it's the same story with the boot, which isn't as large as the ones on some of its rivals like the Golf or the Astra. Folding down the seats obviously increases the load area, but it still isn't class leading.
Despite 1 or 2 small niggles, I still think the Ford Focus offers all things to all men and women, of course, and I can't see it coming off the list of Britain's top-selling cars anytime soon.
So if you're looking for something that looks a little more upmarket, check out our review of the Volkswagen Golf, or if you're seeking something a bit more refined on the move, then watch our Vauxhall Astra review. Click the icon to watch our latest video and click the logo to subscribe.